Hey folks, we're it's roughly I'm gonna say 11 or noon in the morning. It's a pretty nice day, but you know, it's overcast and it is kind of cold. So since I'm biking, I put on the only hat that I could readily find, which is an orange ski hat. So it's kind of a caution hat. I don't know if this is what hunters would use to stay bright, but anyway, I was headed home from somewhere and I noticed the fire department looked like they may be running some drills or training or testing or something, and I find that stuff not fascinating, but I find it interesting. And then you couple that with the government accountability I'm doing, and I'm on a bike ride to go check it out, and full stop. So yeah, it's a little bit chill just standing around now that I'm going down this hill. It's quite a chill. Now I got on sweatpants that got big holes in them. Big stripe holes. But I think gloves would have been a good idea. So given the weather, I'm not sure how long we'll stay, but looked like they had all kinds of cones set up and stuff, so I did want to check it out. Maybe it's just one of the youngsters learning to operate the vehicles, I don't know. All right, the plan for this is to keep my distance, stay on the public sidewalk, and not approach anyone that doesn't approach me first, unless it really makes sense, like they're walking right past me and I want to ask a question. But that's the plan. It looks like they're actually finishing up. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna check it out for a minute, see if we can see what they're doing. So yeah, it looks like that may even be, is that Alex possibly? Somebody learning to, looks like they're learning to operate the fire department ambulance through some cones, which isn't that exciting. I'm glad it was exciting enough to of a prospect to get me on my bike out here on this day. So, you know, that's good news. Looks like they maybe finish up for the day. It's hard to say. I'll take my hat off so they can see it's me if they want. I got the funky hairstyle before I put the hat on, so I imagine I got the real funky hairstyle. After taking the hat off, this is the hat I'm wearing, by the way. It's I actually used to wear it when I went skiing. You know, I got some weird glitches, and I thought this was a ski hat at the time, and it was the warmest hat I could find. It's awesome. I don't know what that material is. It's like a soft wool in a way, if that makes sense. Probably a cotton, but yeah, super comfortable, super warm. The hat does a good job all the way down to the neck, even when I was skiing. Got the all-white ambulance. I wonder if there's a difference between the orange cones and the, what is that, like a neon green, almost 30 neon green. That is not who I thought it was driving. Somebody different, but you know, I think it's probably good as well that, you know, that a citizen watch them. I don't really know the training drill, but I think it's kind of cool. Maybe for some it might add a little pressure because some people don't like being watched, but you know, certainly you go out in the field and there's going to be people watching, right? So I think I bring a little more reality to the scenario. Now the ambulance looks like a normal ambulance to me, I would say. It's a little bit dull and so forth. I don't remember seeing it in the open house, so I'm guessing maybe it isn't part of Station 33. But if you look over here, I don't know if you can see from the distance, there's a fire truck over here, a couple fire trucks. One's got a back cover, one doesn't. And you can almost see the difference. The one in front, it looks good, and maybe it's the angle I'm looking at, but the one in the back looks brand new. It's all shiny, looks really nice. And I'm not saying this is the case or saying this in any negative way, but it looks so good, looks like it hasn't been out since the open house. And that's a compliment, not anything negative. So yeah, this is the Delhi Senior Center. 50 and over dances here, first Sunday from 2 to 5. This is the home of the Delhi Veterans Association. And this is where I go to vote. This is my voting precinct area, I guess. And then they also have recycle bins in the back there, way in the back there. So, and then I don't know what this thing way back here is. You know, when I was growing up, or when I was younger anyway, I used to look at it, and even today I look at it and think, well, because it looks like the tip of a missile, and then you got all those lines going in, you can almost see in a movie where, I don't know if you can see it from here, but there's like a pattern where there's lines going in from the base to the top, where it makes almost slices of pie put together to make the tip. And then you can almost see if it's in a movie where each slice of pie would open up from the top, you know, hinged at the bottom, and then out would come a missile. That's what it looks like to me. Now, whether it's something like some kind of salt storage or something, I have no idea. I'm sure there is a reason for a design like that, where it's cone shaped with a lot of aeration at the top, but I have no idea what it is. So not too much excitement here at this training exercise. I think I also came a little late. Seemed like earlier there were a lot more people here. Maybe this guy is, maybe this is the motivated guy. Maybe he went and said to the boss, hey, can I get in another round or two of driving? Now that's just my way of entertaining myself, because I have no clue that happened, but yeah, I'd really like to almost go over and just talk to that guy, because he looks like he's just sitting there alone in the truck. And, you know, I'm trying to get to know a lot of these folks that work in Delhi and try to understand their side of the story a little bit better. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day down here. It ain't so cold out now that I made the little ride when I'm sitting alone, or when I'm sitting still. But I know I'm gonna need this hat when that wind starts coming up. So we're gonna put that hat back on. Now I did see a car that went through here. I would like to get a little closer video of the recycle bins. I don't think there's anything that says I can't go back there and record those recycle bins. So I'm gonna see what kind of stuff I might be able to get rid of at my house. Morning. So I'm gonna try and hop over there, take a look at that. I'm gonna do my best to do full avoidance of this EMT vehicle though. And I'll just do that by waiting until he gets to the other side, and then I'll make my track down on the opposite side that they're on. Actually, now that I look at it, it looks like they actually have the cones all the way down to the recycling on the left side, not the right side. No, they don't. No. They still have a part open. Yep, so while I'm here, let me go way down there and get that. This is publicly accessible, as I understand it. Citizens can come here, do recycling. I think 24/7. We're gonna find out. That's why we're coming down here. We'll see what the signs say. Now we're gonna be way out of this guy's way. And that we are. And the cones, I had mis-eyeballed them. They're not covering up this lane. So I think we're good down here. Got a bin for paper, glass bottles and jars, plastics, metals, cans and cups, cartons. I wanted to read that where it is, cartoons, my own bias. And then it gives you things not to recycle. It's interesting that they take plastics, bottles, jugs, tubs, and cups, but not plastic bags. No batteries, no clothing, and no pots and pans. Got a dumpster here for cardboard only. This looks like it's the same as the first, same as the first. Looks like they're all the same, except for 2 cardboard onlys. And I guess we must contract with Rumpke to do this. It's interesting. It says no plastic bags, so it looks like what some people do is they put the plastic bag in the holes of the dumpsters. That's what it looks like. Got a big bag and a small bag. And then look at this though. Look at this. You have busted glass back here. This should not be, this shouldn't be, that's my opinion. You have busted glass back here. Bud Light bottle broken. All kind of broken. Because someone riding their bike or someone maybe walking, not paying attention, could step on these things. How you doing? Good. And I just think it would be best if they clean that up. Even myself or somebody riding a bike could easily be riding on here and say, hey, I'll go through the dumpsters and I'll take it kind of slow, and then next thing you know, flat tire. Maybe even fall over, whatever. I don't want to ever dramatize it. I just want to say I think that that's a hazard issue that probably should get cleaned up. And I'm going to guess that falls under the responsibility of Delhi. But we'll see. Maybe they contract up to clean up around the dumpsters to Rumpke. Back here, look at this. You have more broken glass. Not only is it a safety issue in my opinion, but this right here, that says trash. That's what it says to me. Not trash, hey, here's a recycling area. That says whoever's responsible for this area is letting it look like trash. And I don't mean, hey, here's recycling center you can use. I mean, hey, there's trash where it shouldn't be, and it's broken glass. That's a safety issue. And look right here. This broken glass is actually right in the walkway of that gate. So, you know, it's interesting they have a fenced area in there with a gate with no sign. That makes me think I could go in there because there's no lock, no sign. There's a gate. And then let's just check this out for just a minute. This is interesting. Now I'm going to try and carefully avoid stepping on the broken glass. But look at this. So there is no sign. That gate does open right up. I'm not going to go in. And then what's on the other side? It looks like you have a little safety railing. And then you have a wall that just falls right down, right? Wall falls right down. Now, I think outside the box, so, you know, and I'm a good brainstormer. Sometimes I'm good at picking out the best ideas in a brainstorm, but brainstorming's definitely a strength of mine. And so, you know, parents come, kids are helping them throw stuff in. One of the little kids strays away, comes over here. Maybe they're only this tall, but they can reach up with their hand, open that, go in there. Little kid, how old you got to be this tall? Now, certainly there's some parental responsibility. I'm just saying that first of all, we have an open wound with Delhi. I think they're unconstitutional in their actions, and I don't want to spend thousands of dollars to prove it in a court of law. That's where I am on this. And so, so, you know, if I report this, is that now going to be used against me as, hey, he's too persistent, right? Because I have a records request out that I believe is months old, that roughly over 3 weeks ago, I was told in the trustee meeting by the township administrator that he would, I have to go back and look at the recording, either get me the business cards, the public record that they first said didn't exist, digitally, if he couldn't get them to me via paper. I took his word for it, gave him benefit of the doubt. I believed him. I shouldn't have, in my opinion. I believe he's lied to me multiple times on very important issues that I believe are threatening my safety, threatening my freedom. And the township administrators, excuse me, one township administrator told me that they would get back to me. She's saying there's nothing that the township administrators can do, or the trustees can do. Look at this, it's just trash. Look, another beer can, another alcoholic beverage, black cherry. How long do you think this glass has been out here, folks? How long do you think this glass would be out here if I didn't say anything? And is this normal? Is this normal? So, you know, there's always a possibility that, hey, my perspective is wrong. And I'd ask this other co-citizen here what he thinks about it, but I don't want to interrupt him. Just not there today. You know, I like to stay with my initial philosophy, not approach anyone that doesn't approach me. Now, you hear me say hi to folks, you see me wave at folks. I don't consider that really approaching them. But if I don't say anything, how long will this glass, broken glass, be all around these dumpsters? And now this is, a lot of that's behind the dumpster, on the side of the dumpster, but look at the front of the dumpster. You got this core drink, you got this Twizzlers. Now the other question is, if I did this at my house, if I said, hey, government's great, government's my role model, right? Government's a role model. Oh, here's the lieutenant. He just glanced at us out of the corner of his eye. This lieutenant, take my hat off, maybe don't remember. How you doing? He's a real friendly guy. Good, I just wanted to wave. I told myself I'm not gonna approach anyone that don't approach me first, so I just wanted to wave and say hi. I don't wanna get in the way.
Very good, you're good.
Since you rolled the window down, it feels like an invitation.
Oh,
let me just ask you, you notice all this trash over here?
Yeah.
Broken glass?
Yeah.
How long's that been there?
I do not know. Unfortunately, citizens, when they come here, they get kind of lax with how they dispose of things. They're kind of maybe in a rush or whatever.
You know how I perceive it?
How's that?
I get permission from the police lieutenant that I can write with washable chalk on the sidewalk, on a public sidewalk.
Yep.
I go and do it up there. They clean it off within a minute. How long is this going to be here before they realize it?
I don't know.
And then that legal act I had permission ahead of time on, they use the trash pass. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do know that they do clean around here. I believe once a week. There is a specific day that they actually will come out, have blowers, and they have various other things that they do clean. So
You think that's a safety issue?
I think what they're doing is a good thing, yeah.
No, I mean, not them cleaning up. Do you think glass right there today, right now, is a safety issue?
I mean, I wouldn't like to step on it.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's a gate back there that can easily be opened. No lock, no sign that says, hey, private, restricted, anything. I'm just thinking worst case, right? Because when you're in safety, you got to think, well, what's the worst case? Being burnt in a fire is like unlikely. But you got to think about it and plan on it, and you all risk your lives to stop it sometime. We got this gate back here that any kid that while their parents are loading up recycling, go back there, open it. There's a little bit of a gate here, and then it's a drop-off wall, 10, 12 feet.
As far as the mess and all that, I mean, unfortunately, that, you know, we could have all cleaned this, or they could have cleaned this up yesterday, and somebody came, you know, 30 minutes ago and broke glass on it. We just don't know when that glass was there.
Yep.
So unfortunately, to have somebody here full time making sure glass doesn't get dropped or anything, that's asking a lot.
Can you do me a favor? If you don't think it's a big issue, can you not report it to anyone, both of you?
I'm not going to not report it.
Oh, you are going to report it then?
I mean, if there's glass and
okay.
citizens told me about it, absolutely.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll start coming up and checking out, and we'll see if you're if that takes care of it.
Sure. We'll see, but you just never know.
Safety issue.
I mean, this person, you know, anybody can drop something, and unfortunately, you know, we're only here so long.
Yeah, you notice it's like from this end all the way. It looks to me, like I understand what you're saying, but it looks to me like someone ain't cleaned it up for a long time.
Gotcha. Well, unfortunately, I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
That's not mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're fine. It's good talking with you. I'm going to give you the remote knuckles. There we go.
Very good.
And you all just doing training? Anything you can comment on this? Is it just training?
This is driver's training, just to make
No
sure that
testing.
we're up on everything and to make sure that we can drive these bigger vehicles. We're not used to driving, so
Nice.
especially for our newer guys. But we have to do this annually, everybody.
Okay.
But our new guys have to do it before they can start driving.
So you do this too then?
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Everybody, no matter how many years you've been on.
And then you just document it?
Documentation. Yes, sir.
What do they call this?
This would be the, well, look, I'll give you this.
I asked too many questions, don't I?
This is the competency course.
Well, it looked like they were doing a good job, whoever I was watching.
Absolutely. That they do.
Keep up the good work, fellas.
All right.
Nice talking with you. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and report this as well. I'll report this as well, but I appreciate you being honest with me.
Absolutely.
Hey, y'all have a good day.
Be good.
Hope my bike's still, oh yeah, it's over here. So really the game plan was related to government employees, because that's who I normally have problems with, not citizens. But you all tell me, is this normal at a dumpster area? Or is this just normal at a trashy dumpster area? Now what we're gonna do is, you know, I think he was taking a guess there. I'd have to go back and look at the video, but you know, having just talked with him, my impression, and it could be a wrong impression, but my impression is that he thinks someone comes up and regularly cleans this, and that he just threw out the number of on a weekly basis, just using his own intelligence, not based on anything he actually knows. That's my impression. And yep, so a lot of trash. So what we're doing is we're going to compare this dumpster area, just like we did with the graveyard flags, where they were mowing around the fallen down flags, disgracing flag code and veterans, in my opinion, and then pawn the work off onto me to do the job, to get it fixed. And then when I was persistent and fell short with the phone numbers they gave me and so forth, and put it back on them, then they use persistence as an excuse to trespass me. But look at all this trash. Does this look like it's been cleaned up in the last week? Look over here, we got a toilet paper roll. Is this the image Delhi wants to put out there? This is trash. It's a trash look. Look, you got plastic things under the dumpster there. Does that look like it, hey, was out here at one point and then just through time it got kicked or something over there, never cleaned up? Because that's what it looks like to me. And now maybe this was maybe I came up on a bad day. What's today? Today is Saturday. So maybe they do their cleaning of this on Sunday. Maybe what I need to do is maybe I need to take my chalk and in the washable chalk, write corruption question mark, and then they would be up here almost instantly to clean that up, right? Corruption in Delhi question mark, and I bet they'd be up here in a lot faster to clean that up than they would to clean this up. But we're going to follow up on this one, folks. We're going to well, I'm going to take his word at it, and unlike when I took the word of the township administrator and gave him the benefit of the doubt, I still had concerns that, you know, that there was already trust lost there. But this guy, this lieutenant, I trust him. This is the guy that approved me getting a hat. He's always nice. You know, he may be the best looking guy in Delhi government, but You know, I'm a straight man myself, but I can still make those judgments. I used a description like that to describe him once when I didn't have his name, and one of the, I'll call him administrative assistants, immediately knew who he was. He's just got that look. We're staying close to the dumpster. Okay, so let's see what else this sign says. Recycling dumpsters. Residents and businesses only. Approved recycling material only. Items must fit in dumpster with the lid closed. Cardboard boxes must be broken down, open 6 to 9 every day. Okay, so I thought it might be 24/7. We finally came across a time sign. Smile, you're on camera so we can see who. So if this happened in the last week, right? If this gets cleaned up weekly and this happened in the last week, we could look at the cameras. So if there's a camera, that means I should be able to request this. So if they come out, the reason I didn't want that guy reporting it, and I feel a little torn on this, is because if they come out, if he reports it and they come out and clean it Monday, well, then I gotta wait a while to see how long it's gonna take them to clean it again, and to see how proactive they were in doing their job here. But now that he's reported it, he said he's going to report it, because I reported it to him. I was really just talking to him about it. I didn't mean to report it to him. He's going to get this taken care of. He thinks it's urgent enough that even though I was asking him not to report it, he thinks it's urgent enough to report it. And I respect that. I think that's probably the right choice. When you have a safety issue and you have a government that doesn't appear to care about this particular issue, maybe because they just haven't experienced it, or maybe it's related to turnover in staff, or maybe, you know, it's for some kind of honest, wholehearted reason, then, you know. So I think that's going to be it. Let's see what kind of, they say folks are on camera here. So, you know, I have tried to scale back my records request. You know, I had that initial reaction where they said I was making too many records requests, and so that, combined with their stalling on the corruption investigation, I had to try and get more evidence. And I thought one way is, you know, I need to look at the personnel files of the folks that work around the people that I've had the greatest problems with, especially recently, which have all been not fire department, not police department, which I'm having problems with them as well. Because when the police chief says the reason you're trespassed is because you puked, that's not a good reason. When he tries to justify his actions by saying I was just following orders, that's not a good reason. And so, you know, he did apologize for the way he treated me, but he didn't apologize for the content. And see, the content is what's restricting my privileges. So we're going to get moving on here in a minute, but I just want to point out there's one camera on top of that light post, it appears. There appears to be a camera on top of that light post. So people are on camera. And let's see where else there may be cameras. Now, is this an important enough issue that, well, let me ask you this. What happens if a citizen does this? If I do this in front of my yard? Now, I gotta tell you, how long does it take me? If this happened in front of my yard, how long would it take me to clean this up? Less than 24 hours. Because what happens, is that Mr. Vasallo? Hang on, I think this is my long-term neighbor. Best friend's dad. Is that Mr. Vasallo? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody that I knew, but you're not. Sorry about that. That is not him. I'm a little embarrassed. It looks a lot like him though. A little bit older maybe. Anyway. Yeah, so if this was my yard and hey, I took my trash out and Rumpke dumped it in a way, of course Rumpke don't pick that up, but they dumped it in a way that, hey, maybe I had light stuff in, or some stuff broke out, or maybe the wind knocked my can over and, you know, a glass bottle came out and broke. How long would that be in the street by my fault? less than 24 hours. Why? Well, I generally take my garbage can out late night on Tuesday, picks it up first thing in the morning on Wednesday, and then sometime on Wednesday I'll bring it back in. So it's really less than 12 hours. And if there's trash out where it is, because sometimes, you know, some of the trash does come out of the can. It's either paperwork that wasn't in a bag that got blown away, or, you know, something happens. Sometimes the lid's left open because, you know, it's more than full. And I'll clean it up when I get my garbage can that day. And not only do I pick that up, but there's cars that park in the street where stuff falls out of their cars sometimes. I'll pick that stuff up as well. And so that's what should happen. At a minimum, you know, the duty is to keep it clean. The citizen that goes the extra mile, if you will, or the extra inches, is the one that's going to clean up what's not their responsibility, other people's trash. And that's what I do around my garbage can. What do the irresponsible people do? They leave broken glass, and this is all my opinion, right? They leave broken glass right next to walkways where people would walk. If you want to get from that area where people come in to this walkway, you'd walk in between the dumpsters. And so what do irresponsible people do? What do irresponsible governments do? They leave glass laying around in publicly accessible places. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you see all this glass?
No.
Look at all this glass from one end to the other.
Jeez.
Safety issue, huh?
It is a lot.
I'm just saying that responsible citizens would clean this up the day of.
I agree.
Super responsible citizens like me, I not only get the trash around my garbage can, but sometimes cars will park on the street there and stuff falls out. I pick up their trash too.
I do too.
That's the extra inch, extra mile. But I say irresponsible people and irresponsible governments leave trash laying around their cans. Yeah. And right now I'm trying to do government accountability with Delhi Township, and they're doing what you wouldn't think they would do, but you might think the federal government, they're retaliating against me. That's my opinion. But you know, I have
people rattling cages.
They don't like that. And I got an employee file legally where the employee said that he would end the trustees' careers based on this corruption he saw. They threatened him saying, no, you can't be doing that. They wrote him up. All of a sudden he went silent. So now, you know, I like to keep to myself. I got a good life. I'm pretty young still. I'm retired early and all that. I don't want to do this stuff. And I'm like getting, you know, all kinds of, but I appreciate you talking with me. I did record you. Is that okay? I appreciate it. I ain't got you on camera, just on audio.
No worries.
But I think more citizens that I can maybe capture today that say, this just isn't acceptable.
Yeah, it is. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous as well. And appreciate you, sir. You have a good day.
Sure, you too.
So, you know, I didn't ask him if he's a Delhi resident, but by using these dumpsters legally, you'd have to be. And so there you have one resident feedback. I'm not going to try and get a bunch of residents' feedback on this. I just think that, I don't know if disgrace would be the right word for this. Now, they may try to make me out to be a madman for reporting this. That seems to be their MO. Oh, but we need to be extra cautious to make the phone call, just in case, because the guy had the orange hat. But look, this is a disgrace. This should not happen. Doesn't happen in my neighborhood. And we're going to go check out other dumpsters. We'll check out other governments. We'll check out private citizens. And we're going to see if it's like the flag incident. Is Delhi the only place that disgraces the flag like that I can find? Are they the only place that creates safety issues when they propagandize that they're all about safety? Now you could say, hey, citizens created this safety issue. If this was on my property and a citizen came by my property, broke a glass bottle on the sidewalk in front of me, my house where people are allowed to be, and it got on the driveway and stuff, and a citizen walked on the driveway and cut their foot, who would be responsible? The person that broke the bottle on my property, who nobody knows where they are, or me, especially if that's been broken glass on my property for weeks or months? Now, how can we find out how long this stuff has been here? Maybe these cameras would help. Or maybe we'll find something with a date on it somewhere. But I don't want to get accused of dumpster diving. I did notice that there's this piece of paper over here with writing on it. I'm just going to do my part, take this one piece, right? One piece, and I'm going to recycle it. That says paper, so we're good to put it in here. It's like the, what is it, the starfish example? I'll have my numbers wrong, but there's some kind of analogy that, what, hundreds of thousands of starfish wash up and die on the beach every year or something, and person walking down the beach wants to help out the starfish and says there's no way I can help them all out. He takes one and throws it in, and the guy says, one out of hundreds of thousands, what difference did that make? And the guy that threw the starfish back in the water, saving its life, said, made a difference to that one. That little piece of paper I picked up don't make shit a difference. We all know that. Getting this cleaned up though, this could make a difference. This could make a difference. This could actually have prevent a situation from happening. Now look, it ain't just that, but here you got trash here. How far does this trash go out from the dumpsters? We're just gonna go over here for a minute. We only got in the cones, but this trash goes all the way out to here. There's trash all the way over to there. I'm not gonna go past these cones. There's trash all the way over to there. I see a piece of trash roughly a third of the way through the lot, and there's more trash. Looks like 3/4 of the way through the lot. And honestly, I'm not as concerned about this peripheral trash. It's pretty sporadic. It suggests to me, look, all the way over here in the grass, it suggests to me that this may not be a 1 week problem. I don't think it is a 1 week problem. If this is, you know, there's a bag of trash over there. Now, I don't know if this is, yeah, this is Delhi owned. I would think this would be Delhi owned. Maybe they tried to tell me what they told me in the Delhi Park, that it's privately owned. Here we can see what's in that missile silo. And looks like it is actually salt. So I guessed right before. But still, somewhere in me, I'm gonna have this vision that, hey, underneath there someday, all those slots will open up, those pie-shaped things, and a missile will come flying out with salt just catering off of it. So yeah, I don't think I knew this was back here. It's been so long since I've done any looking back here that I've completely forgot. But it's interesting that this is back here. It looks like they have a number of vehicles. I wonder what this area is called. I think you might have called it a compound or something. I just want to make sure my bike don't go anywhere. And because I think I have it kind of in between slots, and that's an expensive bike. Not the most responsible thing to do. Here we go.
Hey, how you doing?
Now, personally myself, what I've done up here is I've identified what I think is an issue. I've confirmed with a fire lieutenant that, yeah, it is an issue. At this point, I guess you could say I've reported it and been assured that it will get reported. I also have a citizen on audio saying, yeah, it's an issue and it's a safety issue. And I've documented all that. Now, myself, I would consider that an effort toward government accountability. Delhi may say F you. They may say F you. We don't think it's a safety issue, because that seems to be what they're doing on some other things. And if I'm persistent with it, then they're gonna do something retaliatory toward me. That's the way I feel. And so let's go over here. Hey, what's your name, guy? Holt. Holt? Yeah. Colt or Holt? Colt. Colt. Rich, I'm doing good. Good to meet you. So that was a good, I call that a good response. You know, I wasn't looking for his full name, and I probably forget both his face and name, but do that 5 more times and I'll start remembering his face and his name. And so we're just going to go back here for a second and check out this area. Now here's another gate where, and I don't understand, why do you put up a gate? You do it to secure it, and then what? You don't secure it? Do you do it just because you got money and you had extra budget money that year, or is it really to secure it? And look, that's made to have a lock in it, I believe. If you just want to put a lock on it, that would be securing it. That's a what, $5 solution? Probably pre-inflation, recent inflation. Maybe it's $10, $15 now. I'll say 15 now. But there we go, a couple gates unlocked. I don't understand why you have the fence. I don't understand it, but I'm sure that nobody questioned the spending on this. I'm sure aside from me, nobody will question it being an unlocked area. Secured but not secured. No one will question that there's no signs. And I did look up trespass law. I believe it has to do with that. You have to be notified via sign or a individual. You know, I want to quote the law because I looked it up, but I don't memorize it well. But nobody will question why that isn't locked down unless and until there was a real reason for putting this up, security of very expensive equipment, and somebody comes in and goes through that unlock gate and steal shit. Or I go through that gate because I think I'm allowed. There seems to be some kind of office up there. So it seems to be, in some regard, publicly accessible. It's interesting, there's a Delhi vehicle over there, the one that they look like they would use for inspections as well. And there's another gate over there. It looks like it might be, it's a double gate. A double gate into the woods. That's interesting. And again, I'm only a brainstormer, and I'm not saying they do this or anything, but why would you have a double gate into the woods? I would think to dump stuff off, to dump shit. Or an honest mistake, or future development. We're gonna go check it out. We're gonna go around the long way. I'm not gonna go through that gated area, because even if I am allowed to be in there, it's a risk. It's a risk that they would use it against me, even if I'm allowed, as a reason to trespass me from where? The building here, this location. So just on the fire drill, looks like they are wrapping up. No parking between signs Monday, Thursday, Saturday before noon. Look, trash, 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 trash. So I think what I might do is I might ask the lieutenant not to mention my name when he reports this, because I think they'll react differently. If they think it was just a lieutenant recognized it, then maybe they won't care as much about it. We'll see. I don't know. I just so I'm gonna cross the road here. I wonder if at some point, if Delhi continues to grow, it's like there's a fire department right there, and then this private area here. Okay, so these are interesting signs here. First, you have a privacy thing suggesting to me beyond the fence it would be kind of private, or maybe, you know, that's what I would think, because that it would be intuitive that controls the fence. So that would suggest to me that fence is a secure area. But I guess maybe they leave it open sometimes. It says salesmen seen by appointment only, 7 to 3:30. So I guess salesmen seen by appointment only, 7 to 3:30. So, you know, you think outside the box, you know, you get rid of some common sense intuitiveness and you think, oh, so from 3:31, you know, 6:59, salesmen can come without an appointment. No, I don't think that's what that's saying, but this in no way has any kind of restriction for citizens. And maybe that means I have standing, because when I spoke with the township administrator, Skylar, recently, he said the reason I got to give my address in part in a meeting when I don't want to, I feel like I'm being kind of doxxed, or let me rephrase that, I feel like my information is being put out there in a way that could harm me without need. He said, well, you got to give it because of standing in part, that is what he said. So I asked him about the homeless man. Does he have less standing to speak in a public meeting? What do you all think the response to that question was? Does a homeless man who works in Delhi, and you say, oh, that's a ridiculous example. Well, when I relocated to Baltimore, Maryland, I was living out my SUV, my Honda CRV. I had a house here in Delhi, so I wouldn't say I was homeless, but I was living in Baltimore out of my vehicle, kind of the homeless life. And I've heard a story of another consultant that's done that as well. So where were those double gates at? I guess they were over here farther. I just wanted to have a look at them. Here they are. And see, why would you have double gate over here? And I don't see any good reason. It doesn't look like there's really evidence of any kind of dumping. So, you know, we do speculation, we have hypothesis, we investigate, document, and come to a conclusion. Now, is there some trash back here? Yeah, I wouldn't call that dumping, just some trash. Is there evidence on this trash? This trash is related to, I don't know, it looks like some kind of receipt. Might have to edit that out later. I don't think this is any private information. Look at that there, there's a little slug on the paper. So since I've taken possession of that and thrown it that back down, does that make me the litterer now? So looks like there's a creek back down there. Remember, we did used to go creeking back around here at one point. Okay, we're keeping our eye open for any signs or communications, anything that would tell us that we can't be where we are or where we're going. And I just don't see any signs. I'm under the impression this is still owned by Delhi Township, and as a Delhi resident, I have, well, I believe as a member of the public, I have standing to be here. But trying to use the constraints that have been communicated to me, understood by me, by our township administrator, as a citizen of Delhi. I should have some standing. Now, do I want to look in them windows? I'm looking in them right now. I can't see much there. This has some stuff closer to the window, so yeah, I can see it. And the other thing I will observe is that generally this property is in good condition. Now, I know some institutions, some companies will have what they call deferred maintenance. What deferred maintenance is, if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of intuitive in some regard. There's probably more science to it than what I'm going to explain in simple forms. But you have a little crack there. You might look at that and say, not a problem. But hey, if we don't do anything about that, then hey, we better start planning on doing something about that, like in the next year or two. Otherwise, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to have a bigger problem. So let's plan 2 years down the road to do maintenance on that. We're going to defer that maintenance for 2 years, get that taken care of, put some tar on it or something. Now, that's a bad example, but when you have a whole building when you have millions of dollars of maintenance that needs done and you're not budgeting for it, like Delhi doesn't budget deferred maintenance as I understand it, then it hits you all at once. You get away with it for so long, but it hits you all at once when something happens in the deferred maintenance that should have been maintained that didn't happen, and because of it, it triggers problems. And so the good news is that if we did have a deferred maintenance plan from the outside, it doesn't look like there's a lot of maintenance this needs. Now that electric box being all rusted, I don't know. Maybe it's an issue, maybe it's not. Right across there, C.O. Harrison grade school. And that's where I went to school for 1 year, I believe. I think I went there 2nd grade, maybe. I remember I was so scared of going to school that when my mom and my sister let me out, I instantly got under the car because I was so scared of going to school. And they had to go in and get the principal to get me out. Oh boy, this could be fun. I may fall on my ass on this one. Okay, this is steep here. So, doing it alone, no probleme. Doing it with my bike, it's a little more challenge. Okay, so this is all fenced in up here, and maybe they don't want to secure that area. Maybe they just want to deter people from coming in. But here's a good example of what might make a deferred maintenance list, maybe even as a lower priority. But it looks to me like at some point this fence, this area here, is eroding. And why do you have deferred maintenance? If you do your maintenance along the way, the idea is that it's generally cheaper than to fix a problem after it happens. You got a leak in your roof, fix it right away, it's done. Got a leak in the roof, don't do the maintenance, don't plan on maintenance, all of a sudden you got a lot bigger problem. But this would be an example. It looks like you have some of the land eroding, and it looks like it's taking the fence with it. At some point, my guess is that fence will probably need to be replaced, or some kind of erosion maintenance, so they could probably stop that eroding as well as another option. What may happen is that this fence may just fall down. It'll look like shit, and it'll be like the broken glass, and nobody will care. Nobody will give a shit. Nobody will notice until it no longer serves the government's purpose, or until somebody like me reports it. All right, let's move on. So we're about done on this trip. I spent more time doing some BS stuff than I wanted to. Oh wow, I didn't know they had this back here. That's kind of cool. Big old shuffleboard right here. Whew, I had no idea I paid for that. Well, picking that up, camera. Look at that shuffleboard. That is nice. Nice. All the air conditioners look nice. All right, we're gonna go down here now. Again, may lose our ass. And I think we're gonna head back home. All right, so we're headed back home, make a quick stop somewhere. We got, looks like 2 cameras up here. We're gonna request it. And see if we can see how long that safety hazard has been. Now, I've never noticed that before. I'm noticing a lot of problems under the new township administrator that I never noticed under our previous administrator, Jack Cameron, was it? Cameron. Jack Cameron. That's how I would say it. I'm not sure. But under Jack, I was noticing all these problems. And when I notice a problem, like when I went up to the fire department and looked in a window trying to take video, which didn't take, you know, Jack had the right response. He respected our Constitution, the First Amendment. He thanked me. I believe he apologized to me. But this other guy, this new guy, I think he's tyrannical. I think he may be a nice guy, I don't know. I think he's probably a hard worker, which makes it even more scary. Because when you have somebody that doesn't have the constitutional values, core values, I mean, I don't agree with the whole Constitution, but some of the core values, it has levels of tyranny like I'm interpreting, and then they're good at doing that. It's scary stuff. And I think what he did was very ballsy. He's got the balls to trespass me when I committed no crime, and then, in my opinion, my understanding, to lie on top of it. And I think I'm gonna be able to prove some of those things in the video as just outright, just they're not true. Whether they're lies or just false truths, honest mistakes, my opinion, we're gonna see. So let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's see how trashy this government maintained lot is in Delhi. It's just trash. 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 There's trash. Trash all the way out here. Now listen, I'm not sure, but I'm sure they just had elections up here. I'm not sure, but I would guess that they would have done a cleanup after the elections, right? I don't know, maybe not, but trash. See where else there's trash. Look, oh my gosh. It's just trashy. I think this doesn't make Delhi just look trashy. I think when you combine this with all the other things I'm pointing out that I never saw under Administrator Cameron, but I'm seeing all over the place under this new township administrator. Look, all the way out here by the street where you can see it from the street. What do we have here? Trash. 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 No, that wasn't random. We have 3 pieces of trash here. Trash. Trash. Plastic bag. Trash. Trash. I didn't look for this ahead of time. What's this? Is that trash? Yep, sure enough. What kind of trash is it? See if we can find out what kind it is. Food trash. Food trash. What's food trash? Food trash equals bugs. That's what I think. What's this look like right here? Looks like something that goes on the top of like a tin-foil dish. Like a pie dish. Trash. This is Delhi. I don't make this up. I didn't sneak up here late at night breaking glass, putting trash in the front of the building. I had no plans to observe anything like that. I came up here to document and observe the fire department activities. Once again, here it is. What's this? More trash, more trash. Once again, though, the fire department, and I forget his name. I'll call him Model Guy, maybe because he looks like a model to me. But Once again, fire department, 100% professional. 100%. Now I want to thank the lieutenant for that. There seemed to be another guy there. I got his name, but I already forgot it. I remember his face right now though. And he seemed like he was a little bit more raw, a little greener. Trash, trash. Now let me show you across the street what it looks like. One piece of trash. I bet that guy's trash came from this property. I bet you. I would bet it if it was legal. Trash. 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 That's trash, but I ain't gonna yell it. It's so small. What's this thing? What's this thing? Looks like it's just a broken sign laying over. Was it important to put there at some point? Were people riding up into the... Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this for a sec, folks. Okay. So we can see on this wall that, hey, there's some damage along the way, right? Right? I don't know what caused this damage, but you can clearly see that there's damage in different places on this wall along the way. This looks like it's newly forming damage. This looks like soon that will look like that, or I'm sorry, soon those will look like that. Completely missing. Now deferred maintenance would say, hey, we have a problem here. Something's causing this to happen. We can either fix it now or wait till it's fucking tumbling over and fix it then. But that aside, that was just a tangent. And maybe I'm just bitching about nothing now. I don't talk about deferred maintenance, but it's upsetting. I see so much trash. Basically, right next to my subdivision. On the main street of my subdivision. When people come from out of town or whatever, out of Delhi to see me, and a lot of them are gonna come right across this, where they're gonna see trash. Now what's going on here? It looks like, and this is just me, you have a knocked over stone that looks like it was up here with some of this, and maybe it looked like, I'm just speculating, you can actually see a tire track right here, right? And it looks like what happened is it looks like that tire track, and again, just speculation, but something did this. Looks like that tire track maybe ran over this and knocked this off and knocked that off. Knock that down, and maybe at some point they said this is a hazard, nobody's picking this up, right? They need to pick this up. At some point somebody, I'm guessing, put this sign up. Now it's knocked over. I hate touching shit, I just do, but I'm curious if it's broken or just knocked over. Okay, so it's definitely broken. It is being held on by a couple threads, but this looks like a safety sign, right? This is here for safety, I'm guessing. Everything I'm saying is my opinion. Now, what would be the purpose of putting a safety sign up here? Well, you know, it's interesting because I think this is an in out here, meaning that this is where people would go out, not come in. So it looks like, yeah, it's a little weird how this happened, but it looks like somebody thought it was important enough to put a safety sign up. But now that it's knocked down, does the risk of safety now increase now that the mitigation has been knocked down? That's my question. And maybe this isn't an issue. Now I hear a lot more sirens in Delhi these days than I think I've ever heard. I'm hearing sirens all the time, and I'm not sure if it's police or fire, but yeah, look at this. What do we have here? Trash. Does this look like it all happened in the last week? Did we have major wind recently that caused this? Or is there going to be trash in other places? We're going to go see this guy's property over here. guys. So let's look over here, because I thought I saw trash at, now this guy don't have any trespassing signs either, or any no trespassing signs either. Not looking to do anything, what, heinous or whatever, but do want to look for trash that came from people that have custodial responsibilities over my property in partnership with others, enforced partnership with others. So maybe I just saw a leaf. Nope, here it is. Trash. Okay, so this private business owner, who in my mind is known for keeping his property exceptional, and it makes sense because it's a funeral where that industry kind of keeps their properties a little bit a notch above. And right now it doesn't look, I would say, half as good as it normally looks. It looks good now, don't get me wrong, but all the colorful stuff has really been taken down. Normally he has a strip of flowers going down this whole strip. You can even see for the dirt it has, you know, don't have many weeds because he maintains it. And he's got some really cool flowers, I forget what they are, that he keeps up there on that patio thing. So I would be curious if this piece of trash, and let's see if we can see what this is. A key tag. Maybe it didn't come from over there. But we looked, we did a little searching. Certainly from here, and I'm across the street now. From here, just from here, and I just stopped randomly. Didn't plan on this stop or anything, but from here, I can visually see 2 pieces of trash, 3 pieces of trash, 4 pieces of trash, 5 pieces of trash. I'm not even getting into the concrete area, I'm just on the grass here. 5 pieces of trash. Now from one location across the street, I can visually see 5 pieces of trash. How many pieces of trash do you think people driving by can see? Now, if you remember, Rich, go home and look up the definition of trashy. Let's see if Delhi maintained property, as I understand it, meets the definition of trashy under the leadership of Skylar Miller, our township administrator. Look at this, trash. I didn't even pick up this trash. So trash is kind of like roaches. You can count them as you see them, but there's always gonna be more. And what kind of trash this is? Is that an alcohol bottle? Let's take a look. It's a pink Whitney. Real vodka. Trash. It's trash, that's what it is. This is just trashy. And here's the thing. People may not notice that trash. I didn't notice it initially when I came in, but I didn't come in on this side and I wasn't looking for it. But that trash back there, people notice. I noticed. I wasn't looking for glass. I wasn't looking for trash. I was looking for signage. I was just walking around looking. Safety issue trash. Now, if I understand correctly, lawyer guy, township lawyer Bryan, spelled with an A, I believe, would he say he don't think this is government accountability? That I'm not trying to find out why government hasn't cleaned that shit up? That I'm not trying to get government to clean that up? That in the future, if they continue to let safety hazards be created in large part by them, by their facilitation and neglect of duty, anyway, I strongly disagree with a lot of these folks, and the ones I disagree with all seem to be in government. I speak to the citizens. You heard me just speak. Now, I'll say on this issue so far, in terms of, hey, that's a safety issue and it needs to be fixed. We have a lieutenant, we have me, a reporter, if you will, a member of the press, and we have a random citizen. I didn't know that guy from Jack. All saying that's a safety issue, needs to be taken care of. Let's go, Now see, you catch this one place, two places. At what point do you start saying, hey, there's a pattern here? There's a pattern and there's a responsible party to this pattern. At what point do you say, you know, when I worked, I worked at Cincinnati, when I worked there, I was, I think at the time I was acting supervisor over the programming staff. And our chief information officer and I were having a conversation. And he said, we were talking about some problem or something, and it was one of those issues where, you know, you could blame 20 people for this. I'm making that up, but you could blame a bunch of people for this. A lot of blame to go around. And he said, Rich, you know who's to blame for this? And I started saying, well, I'd start with this, and then I'd go there, and then this person had a rule, and, you know, I was going down the line like, hey, this was everybody's fault kind of thing. And he said, yeah, that's true. But ultimately, it's the head person's fault. The top dude, it's his fault. And you know, I think there's a truth to that. Here we go, more trash. I think there's a truth to that. And the thing is when you have a change in leadership, which Delhi has had, and then you start seeing a change in a negative way, and maybe people are excited about the work he's doing on the building up in Delhi, and they're excited that, hey, now we have, you know, more Delhi citizens with those private public apartment buildings, whatever they are, and they're excited that, hey, maybe now we're getting some more businesses up in Delhi. But for me, I stayed in Delhi for, you know, 20-something years because I liked what it was. I liked it was small. I like small government. I like the accountability. I like living here. And now it's all changing, and I'm gonna show you the video. You're gonna see where the township administrator says, with this property alone, we doubled our assets. And as I remember it, and I hate to be wrong on this stuff, but as I remember it, that was a moment of excitement for him. He was excited about that. Maybe there's something to be excited about there, but as a small government guy, in the net, I hear that, a growth of government of 100% in their assets in a short time period, I say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, if I'm a big government guy, my eyes bulge and I'm excited. I'm like, hey, can we double it again in the next couple years? Let's build more big buildings. Let's get more traffic in Delhi. Let's bring more crime in. But I'm not, I'm a small government guy. But here's the thing. I'm not a small government person sitting on Delhi Township Trustees Board as a trustee member saying I'm for small government when I'm initiating, when I'm supporting policies that create big government, when our budget doubles, our expenditures double faster than the wage growth for the citizen. I'm not up there on the trustee board saying, hey, I'm for small government, but I get excited when I hear that in a short period of time, I gotta watch out for glass because look at all this trash, that in a short period of time, that we doubled our assets. That ain't what I wanna hear. You know what gets me excited? And I don't know, I never heard it, I'm just speculating. But if government came out and said, hey, because we've owned these properties so long, our expenses on them and our ability to maintain them, just like a company would, a company, and maybe that ain't the best example because it's private and public, but the analogy is firm. Delhi police right there. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, it's definitely definitely seem to want to be big government people in Delhi government now. Big spenders. But so what I'm saying is what would make me excited is if Delhi came out and said, hey, we've been over the years been able to become more efficient. We don't need as much of your money now, and we're going to cut taxes. That would get me excited. And then to hear that my neighbor took that money they got from cut taxes that was theirs to begin with, that they were forced to pay based on some conditional BS, and for them to use that to pursue their happiness. Maybe their happiness isn't a big building up on Delhi Pike. Maybe their pursuit of happiness has nothing to do with a couple swimming pools and a new swimming complex. In fact, when they're forced to pay for those things, maybe that actually infringes upon their pursuit of happiness. And it's infringed, government has so much in our pursuits of happiness that right now, roughly 1/2 of Americans cannot afford rent. Look it up. Now, we can argue whether that's a good or bad stat, whether it's valid or not, whether that's government socially engineered or not. But government's been running the place. You know, Democrats blame Republicans, Republicans blame Democrats, but they, the Uni Party, have been running that place for long enough to say you're responsible. You're the cause of these things. All right, folks, we're headed back home. That's pretty much the end of the video. Gonna find our way out of here and maybe see if we can get to some other dumpsters later. In fact, let me go down here real quick. Let me go down here. Now, this is Oak Hill Schools. I think generally, you know, they're known to be a good school district, and they seem to hold some of my core values as well. I'll say that. When there were some questions that were, oh, there's a police officer back here too. Wow, we might get a 2-for-1. I actually come back here to check out the dumpster, but it looks like we have maybe 2 officers' cars back here. No, just one. I misread that. Wow, this was lucky. That's we're assuming it's lucky. Okay, see if we recognize him. Yeah, I recognize this guy. How you doing? I've forgotten your name. Scott Moore. Our last interaction didn't seem real comfortable, but up at the PD, you were leaving. You just started your shift, and it was right after I got trespassed. Huh?
You're on your bike.
Yeah, I was on my bike that day too. I just shocked it off on, you know, no bigs.
Let them do it.
Yeah. I actually didn't know you were up here. I actually came up to look at a dumpster. There they are. I got to take some videos of those dumpsters real quick because I think Oak Hill School District's fairly responsible. And I speculated that they probably did the right thing with their dumpsters. But if you get a chance and you got the time or the interest, go right next door to where the Delhi maintained dumpsters are. The Delhi maintained property, who I think isn't responsible, who I'm having major problems with, mainly with the township administrator. Because under Jack, what was Jack's last name? Cameron? Under Jack Cameron, I didn't see these things. I'm seeing them now everywhere. I didn't even go. So you go over there and you're gonna see glass all along the back wall, all along the dumpsters. You're gonna see it in between the dumpsters, and you're gonna see trash as far out as the grass, right between the sidewalk and the street. And you're gonna hear, maybe someday you'll see my video if I get up the nuts to post this, and you're gonna see me say, hey, what kind of people or departments, because this happens to me sometimes. I put my garbage out, right, on Tuesday night, and for whatever reason, sometimes the lid's open because it's over full and the paper falls out, or they dump it in and something falls to the side. I pick it up when I get my trash can the next day. Not only that, but there's cars parked in the street, and I'll go and pick up the trash that falls out of those cars as an extra inch, doing the extra mile, right?
But these dumpsters here, only those folks supposed to be using them.
Right.
I mean, I'd imagine somebody's going to dump and stuff too, but that's on them. But
Yep.
you get so many people using those dumpsters over there, crazy. Right?
Now, what it sounds like to me, and I mean this respectfully, is it sounds like you're making an excuse for why it's okay for broken glass to be between dump. Okay, so you think somebody fell short on that?
I'm just saying that people aren't going to ask possible. Now, I don't know how often they clean it up. That's road maintenance guy. I don't really.
Go over there, do your own due diligence, and just ask yourself an honest question. Does this look like a 1 week old problem, a 2 week, or a month long problem? You were up at the Delhi Park?
Did the dumpsters used to be up there? Behind McDonald's? You were sitting up there one time?
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't say no.
I don't remember if it really messed up there. And moved them. I don't remember why. Maybe we did? That's a question if that's somebody.
Have I ever asked you about the 5 tenets of the First Amendment? Like the 5 core values? Like the 5 core values of the First Amendment, like freedom of speech would be one, freedom of religion. Let's see if you and I can do this together. I don't want to put you on the spot, but together, if you and I can, if a First Amendment activist and a law enforcement officer or a peace officer together can't come up with the 5 tenets, that just 5. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. Freedom of press. How could I forget that one? Folks, look at this bad hair, but it took me a long time to remember freedom of press. There's one left, and I may confuse it. I'm not sure either. I think freedom to petition our government is within freedom of assembly, but it could be the 5th one. I honestly forget. Now I'm doing this on camera, so I gotta tell you, I got all this content of like Delhi doing what I think are horrendous, what some people would view as horrendous things. And I'm scared, honestly, to put it out there, because one, there's a lot of things. One, I'm scared because I wonder where the retaliation ends by government. I mean, we have on the trustee, who I'm doing an investigation of corruption on him. We have one that's formerly married to a judge, also serves on a board for Homeland Security. We have one, I think, that owns a McDonald's. Money is power in a lot of ways. And then we got another one that just doesn't seem to care about the Second Amendment, doesn't seem to care much about the First Amendment. But, you know, I wore this up at the open firehouse, the open house. And by the way, I thought your guys was the best when I first went to you all's open house. You had the best food, but they got more gigs at the fire department. They got the little setup where you stick your head in, they get a picture next to the, and then they got the fire with the blankets and you can crawl out, the kids can crawl under. And then big as anything, they got the dogs. So that's where I was sold. But y'all both did a good job, the PDN. But I went up there with this, with a little thing that said press, so people knew I was recording. And one person had asked, you know, are you recording? And I said yes. And then we had a long, good conversation. She was a volunteer and the other person next to her was a worker. There was one person that had a problem, seemed to have a problem with it. Delhi Township trustee. This was a month after another trustee said, when I said, hey, there's a problem with the First Amendment in Delhi, the trustee didn't say, let's see your evidence. You have video recording of it? Let's see it. Nope. They said, I can assure you that every member of this board up here makes the First Amendment, makes the Constitution a priority. Now, this is after Delhi Township Administrator, and he denies it at this point, but what I heard him say to me is, Rich, with all due respect, the First Amendment isn't a priority in Delhi. Now, he put some other things in writing about me when he trespassed me. I have audio video recording from that day, what actually happened, unedited. I've offered it to the trustees. Hey, you want to see what actually happened that day? Because they got a letter that was full of lies or untruths about me on that day. I'm just telling you what I'm saying, and I value your listening and your respect. If you got to go or you want me to go, just say so. And I'm going, put a bunch of lies in there. I said, I have proof on unedited audio video that there's a bunch of lies in here. None of them want to see the video evidence. That's weird. I mean, I'm not going to ask for your feedback. I'm just saying, I can see from your expression a little bit. But if you assume this is true, and if you watch my channel, you see it's true, then you're going to say, man, I see why he's a little bit scared. Now, on top of that, I say a lot of stupid things, I'll be honest, and I say them on camera. So when I say, oh, he didn't even want to see the evidence, didn't want to see the evidence, I'm like, that sounds really stupid. I got to post that, and I put myself out there. Yeah. I spent $300 on this, $200 on these things. I do it because I care about this country.
GoPro?
Yep.
You don't see much touching those around
And
anymore.
just real quick, what's happening in this country, if you don't know, because I know some people are busy in their careers, they don't follow news and stuff. We have a federal court that said the intelligence agencies illegally against First Amendment colluded through intimidation and other tactics to oppress First Amendment rights of citizens through social media, our government, our federal government. That's just one example. There's a bunch more examples. That First Amendment war, it's in Delhi. And I can tell you, I think, this is just me personally, because I get a lot of hate, and I think there's a lot of rumors going around about me that people haven't even met me yet. One person who I didn't even think I interacted with said that they put up with me because I'm making public. But I think I'm on the right side of that war in Delhi, and I'm alone right now. It's me, my dog. People don't even know. You don't know till you need it, right? You go 10 years, you don't even need that fire extinguisher, and you didn't test the batteries, or the battery's good, and you don't care. Nobody cares in the house until a fire happens, and all of a sudden your little kid got burnt.
When you change the clocks, you're supposed to check that, right?
Yep.
You went to the fire
And see, nobody noticed that glass over there till a little kid that got away from their parents loading recycling, maybe in bare feet, walks on a piece of glass, gets cut. Now everybody cares. But what happens in that case? Maybe the parents sue. Who pays? The taxpayer, who did absolutely nothing wrong.
Well, I'll go check it out, and I'll get a hold of...
I already got the fire lieutenant on it, but I wouldn't stop you from doing anything. I just asked you to look at yourself.
my due diligence to say, hey, listen, this was brought to my attention. I said, you know,
I'm trying to change hearts. I'm sorry, go ahead.
you said there's a stop sign bent down, I do the same thing. So,
Yeah, so on that front, because they just keep popping in front of me. When you go into that on the far side entrance from where we are now,
the senior center.
yep, you're going to see that there's a sign knocked down. It's just a sign with reflection on it. I think white on one side, red on the other. And it's knocked over. It looks like it was put there so people wouldn't run into the wall there, because the wall in the corner, a piece of brick's knocked over and it's smashed. And now we got it. Now I'm thinking, hey, somebody put that there because it's a safety issue. So now that it's knocked over, is that safety risk back, and does anybody really care? I appreciate you. I forget your name every time I ask it. Scott Moore. Scott. Yeah, I appreciate today's interaction. I'm going to give you the remote, because the same person that had a problem with the First Amendment, the trustee up there for me recording, at the end I tried to be positive. I said, hey, can I get a fist bump? I got the dirty face. Even trying to do a fist bump was the dirty face. So, you know, that's what I'm getting from Delhi. I appreciate you. I think you and I have a good relationship, and I hope we can keep it that way, Scott.
I'll go check it out.
Have a good day, buddy.
See ya.
Okay, that's definitely going to get taken care of now, is my take on that. You let the fire department know, you let the police department know, and even if you have a shitty township administrator that has some kind of shitty employee that didn't do their job in that area, I think it'll still get taken care of. So we're going to see. Yeah, what I came over here for. So this is where, what, I'm guessing hundreds of kids play on a 5 out of 7 days a week area. And there's, I would say, less trash over here than I'm seeing off the spot, right? And then here we have, I think this is more of a storage than it is a dumpster, but no problemas, no problema, no problems. And then look at these dumpsters. Look at these dumpsters. No problems, right? No problems. Okay, so I just want to keep it real. I don't think this is a problem, but let's just keep it real. Little bit of trash there, right? You'd expect that. A little bit of trash over there. Now I suspect that that will get cleaned up on some kind of regular. Looks like the cardboard under the dumpster. So yeah, no broken glass here, no problems. No problems. Now what will also be interesting to find out is how many kids actually walk near those dumpsters at night. Or how many kids walk near those dumpsters after school lets out, because that's when it would be most likely to happen. So that guy was Officer Scott, I think. I forget what he said his full name was. I gotta guess, but I don't want to get it wrong. And he just seemed kind of in a hurry and didn't want to talk about things with me one other time. I have that recording. Wasn't a big deal, but if it was going to be something that happened regularly, it would be a big deal. But we were able to talk today. I didn't plan on seeing him or any officer there. I just randomly ran into him. And he was a man of his word today. I'm driving by right now and I see he's right there next to dumpsters. So, you know, he did go and take a look at them. I appreciate that, Officer Scott. I'm 99% confident Officer Scott's gonna do the right thing. I'm 99% confident this him right here, this lieutenant's gonna do the right thing. And I'm 90%, maybe 80% confident that the person responsible for that will do the right thing. Not only today, this isn't a one-time issue. This is a, hey, that needs to be more regularly maintained. And so maybe this guy's confrontational in areas of that without business for what I was doing, and they're trying to trespass me for it. Too persistent on the complaints. I complained to 2 people, and I'm probably gonna, or I reported to 2 people, I'll probably report to a 3rd one, just to cover that extra 1% that I've done my due diligence. But I think Scott understands a little bit of what I was saying today. Based on his facial expressions, I was conscious and purposeful, although I believe I had the right, I was conscious and purposeful not to put him on the spot today. Certainly their weaponization has tailored my approach, my vigorousness, and my investigation into their corruption. They've certainly been successful to some extent in some context. Good day for riding. It's a good day for riding. Yeah. Okay, folks, so haven't been able to let this one go yet. LOL. But I asked the AI, would it be an urgency or emergency or both to clean it up, referring to the broken glass? And AI says cleaning up broken glass in a walkway, and I would consider that basically a walkway. It's really next to a walkway. So technicality, if you were on the front side of the dumpster and you wanted to get to that walkway, you'd most likely walk through the walkway between the dumpsters. That's how I view it. But it's saying cleaning up broken glass and walkway should be considered both an urgency and an emergency. And then it goes into details why. It should be cleaned up as soon as possible to ensure the safety for everyone. So this is leading me to feel a little stronger that maybe I should just make the recommendation that, you know, they could put barriers up there right away, or maybe I'll just go ahead and call them and say, hey, can I go ahead and clean that up there? Because, you know, it's been a little bit of time, and I now not only feel that it is an urgent emergency type situation, and I wouldn't categorize it as an emergency situation. I personally would categorize it as urgent at this time. Given that reinforcement by what AI is telling me, and I don't ask AI a bunch of different questions until I get the answer I want. I ask it in a straightforward way, and it gives me the answer, and I weigh it against my intelligence and experience. And in this case, I don't completely agree with it, but I do agree with the urgency of it. And based on that analysis, I am going to go ahead and see if they can put up barriers and to see if it would be legal for me to go ahead and just clean that up myself. Because I'd rather just get it taken care of and sleep a little better at night. And I don't know, it's just, it sounds kind of weird, but that's how I am. So let's go ahead and do that now, or just do it on the fly. I guess, I don't know if this will be I guess we'll call, hey Google. Hey Google. Call the Delhi Police Department, Ohio.
All right, calling Delhi Township Police Department.
Delhi Township Police, this is Ethan. How can I help you?
Is this Ethan?
Yep.
Hey, bud. My name's Rich Gages. I don't know if we met or if you heard of me, but I noticed I was up at the recycling center on Neeb Road, the senior center, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
And I noticed there's a bunch of shards of glass around the dumpsters from end to end. And I notified the fire department lieutenant, and then I notified a police department officer, I believe, as well, all from Delhi. But I think it's been about a couple hours now, and you know, I guess they're going to report it forward as well. But I had and this may sound a little weird, but I had a conversation with AI, Copilot, Microsoft's Copilot chat GPT thing. And Copilot's telling me that this is an emergency and urgent situation. Now, I don't agree with that myself. I think it's an urgent situation, but maybe not emergency. But you all have these things that like blockade roads right behind that senior center building up there. And I thought as a minimum that y'all can maybe throw those up on both sides of the glass just to make sure nobody, because I noticed that thing is open after the sun goes down and before the sun comes up. So like people are going back there with like a minefield of glass in the dark. And I just think at a minimum, you know, I thought I could do it by myself. We could take 30, it'd probably take less than 30 minutes for one person just to move those blockages. But you know, if y'all can't do that, then I just wanted to find out if it would be legal for me to just go up there with a broom and a dustpan, and I'll clean it up myself. You know, I'll do my citizen what do you call that, volunteer work if it's legal.
You could always do that, but I'll have an officer head up that way too, so they can just check it out and see what they can do.
Awesome sauce. I'll meet them up there then, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Alrighty. I appreciate you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, gang. So we made the phone call to the PD. We got the approval, I believe, of a gentleman named Ethan. I brought 2 brooms and 2 dustpans. I believe I'm meeting an officer up there, so I'm definitely going to do some volunteer work here, it looks like, and clean that up. And if the officer wants to chime in with me, then we're team up on it. We'll knock it out pretty quick. If the officer says we're gonna get some barriers put up right now, then I think that would be a acceptable mitigation, and I probably wouldn't clean it up then. But if he says we're gonna drive away and we're gonna get it taken care of sometime in the future, then I probably just sweep it up myself and do the job myself. So that's where we are right now, and that's where we're headed. So here we are. There's the officer. I want to make sure we try and follow the law to the best of our ability, and we're hop over there and see what he or she says. I don't mean to be sexist. I'm thinking he, because part of me's thinking maybe it's the same officer I notified earlier, but maybe it's not. But I'm gonna park way over here somewhere and then see what he says. So should be parked. Should have that covered. See what he says. And still recording, so we're good there. Oh, they got me a new guy.
Hi, can I help you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Cauldron?
Cold iron?
Cold Iron.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of a cool name. I'm not sure why.
I appreciate it.
What's your first name?
Matt,
Matt. Hey, I'm Rich Gages.
nice to meet you.
I told an officer earlier, have you seen the glass over here?
I have not seen it.
You want to walk over with me? I'm recording, by the way.
No, you're fine, so am I. You're good.
Sweet. I have to request that. Actually, can I just request that through you now when we're done at the
You
end
have
of
to
the...
go through the front office.
Nah, I request it through you.
Okay.
You're going to forward that on for me at the
I
end?
will forward that to our front office.
Appreciate that. So you got glass here from one end to the other.
Okay.
Now, this is open 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
I think sunrise is somewhere around 7:22 a.m.
Okay.
Sunset happens around maybe 5:22, I think.
Okay.
Either way, those times might be a little off. It's nighttime, dark time when this is still open. So if people bring their pets or kids or anything, do you think this is a safety issue?
It could be a safety issue.
Okay, do you think it's an urgent one?
Well, Officer Moore has emailed the Public Works Department, and they will get to it Monday morning.
Do you think it's an urgent one?
I mean, there's nothing we can do for it right now.
Sure there is. You mind walking down here with me?
Down where?
About 50 steps that way, outside of the fence area.
Sure.
I appreciate it. And I'll just note that this glass, it's from end to end.
Okay.
How long do you think that glass has been there if you had to take a wild guess?
I have no idea. I'm not going to guess because I don't know.
Would you take a guess that it would be more than a week being from one end to the
I'm
other?
not going to guess because I don't know. I don't want to be wrong and tell you something wrong.
I respect that. Appreciate those answers. So I think it's right here. Y'all have all these like roadblock barrier stuff. And I'm thinking if I was allowed to, like, you know, probably in less than 30 minutes by myself, I could probably take some kind of road barrier cones, maybe these things or something, and put them on each side of the glass.
Okay.
And that 30 minutes could save a little kid from coming up tonight with their parents while their parents are loading the dumpster, going around the bend, because there's a walkway on this side. To get to the walkway, you probably go through the dumpsters, cutting their foot. We could avoid that from happening with the foresight we have right now, you and I.
Sure. Okay.
If you're willing to do that, I think, and there's like a little sign, you know, if y'all are willing to do that, then I would consider that an acceptable risk or mitigation, I'm sorry. If you aren't willing to do that, then I brought 2 brooms and 2 dustpans.
Okay.
And even if you are willing to do that, if you want, I'll clean it up myself tonight, or if you want to join in with me, we can team up and get it done twice as fast, you and I
I'm not going to pull
together.
myself off the road to clean up glass.
Okay.
Like I said, the Public Works Department has been notified. That's on them. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're more than welcome to clean it up if you'd like, but like I said, I'm not taking myself off the road to take resources away from the department to do that.
Okay.
So if you're more than welcome to clean it up if you'd like to, but like I said, the Public Works Department has been notified. They've been emailed, so.
Do you have someone you can take off the road to put these up over there?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Do you have someone either on the road? Do you have anyone anywhere that can take some of these?
I can put some cones up.
You can put them up for every. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Okay. Anything else I can help you with?
I'm gonna hang around. I might think of something, but for right now, I think that's about it. And then if I could request that full body cam footage through you, and then that request that was made to the who was it made to? Did he say?
The what request?
To clean up the glass.
To the Public Works.
Public Works. Who is that? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. Officer Moore's the one that emailed them, so
Okay.
I'm not sure who he emailed.
That's just regular email though. That's not urgent email or emergency email, right?
Correct.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate
Let me
that.
go grab some cones. I'll throw them out for you, and then we'll get out of here. Okay?
Okay. I may clean it up anyway. I can give it some more thought, but on the way, my thought was that if you all put up some barrier there, that I would feel comfortable with that mitigation.
Okay.
We'll see how good it looks and then go from there.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Sorry to take you off the road.
No, you're good.
So, all in all, just my initial reaction is, you know, I thought the guy did all right. I'll say that. I'm not going to naysay him. I'm not going to prop him up. I thought he did okay. Again, the solution to the safety issue, ultimately, the urgency of it, had to come from the citizen. This would have waited till Monday just for them to get notified that that this is up here. And then from there, how long would it take to fix? We don't know. We don't know. Is that person even going to be in on Monday? I don't know. I have no idea. And so, you know, when I was coming up here, I was thinking those barriers are really better than cones. The cone would be okay in that middle part, but on this back part, and this is kind of a weird walkway, you know, because it goes from nowhere over there, and then it goes to this fenced area over here. You know what's kind of strange, just an observation, is they got this gate closed with the, you got a key in to get in and stuff. And I got a sign about salespeople and all around, but then they got gate doors that aren't even locked where you can, it's like it's secured, only we got open gate doors that don't have no trespassing signs or anything like that. So am I legally allowed in that gated area?
No.
No? Even though,
Closed if it's closed often now.
I mean, the door's open though.
What door?
The gate door, you can open it.
Okay. Yeah, I would say no, you're not allowed back there.
Okay. And there's no, even like it says no salespeople, or salespeople only between like 7 and 3, but I'm not a salesperson, so there's no restricting signs for me. Look at all this trash out in the parking lot and stuff. I noticed there was trash all the way out into the grass, and I saw some trash in that funeral homes lawn, and I thought that funeral home, that's like the prize in the area around here.
It is pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah, they, in the summertime and the springtime and stuff, they always got the flowers on the front row.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you've seen the flowers they put in the pots there. I forget what they're called.
Very nice. It's
gorgeous. I found one piece of trash in there, and my thought was, wonder if it blew from over here.
It came from anywhere, honestly.
For Delhi Township not clean. Yeah, but when you look and you say there's trash, and then you can see there's trash all the way out through this parking lot, all the way into the grass.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely a concern. I agree with you.
Is that all the cones you got?
What's that?
Is that all the cones you got?
Yeah, and I put it for where all the glass is.
You think that mitigates it all?
Yeah. So.
You do feel that mitigates it? Okay.
All right, we'll take care.
So he said he put it where all the glass was. But, I mean, is that not glass right there? Is that not glass right there? Is that not glass all through there? Shards of glass. Is that not glass? Is that not glass? Now he can't comment. See, now I'd give him a negative rating based on what I'm saying. He can't comment. Now we're gonna see what kind of calls we have in Delhi tonight for this time right here, because he acts like he's real busy, can't take resources off the streets. Safety issue. And look, he put a cone everywhere there's glass. Really? Look at all this glass. Where's the cone? Where is the cone? And if I sound upset, then that is correct. I am upset. So people pull in here. You pull into this first dumpster. On the right side, somebody come over here. Glass. Shards of glass. Glass. Shards of glass. So I'm going to call back in. Now I feel like I want to be persistent. Because I guess I could clean this shit up. That's what I said I would do. Shards of glass. I put a cone everywhere there's glass. Is this guy blind, or is he purposely and maliciously trying to escalate with me? I should have called him out at the time that he made the retardo comment, because, and I apologize, that's just the verbiage I use. But obviously he did not put it everywhere there's glass. Obviously, not only glass, but look, I've cut my big toe on stuff like that before. Stuff like that, you're walking and you catch it right and it comes up and you cut your toe. I've done it. Look, glass. So let's do an analysis of this. Let's try and do an honest analysis. I think what he did is he put a cone where he saw glass, the most amount of glass, for the number of cones that he had easily and readily available on his vehicle. That's what I'm thinking happened. But Yeah, let's just walk through this and do an honest analysis. So no glass in any of these. Okay, so he's 1 for 1, I would say, and I'm being loose. If you're coming from this area, yeah. If you're coming from this back area, you're going to be getting into glass before you see that cone. I was really as envisioned they would be blocking off on both sides. So they're 1 for 1, 2 for 2. How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Now there's glass back here. I'm gonna say they're 2 for 3. They missed this one. Look at this big piece of glass right here. I'm at least gonna kick that back. Whoops. That's pretty big. Okay, 3 for 4. And we're being nice with them here. Glass in here, yeah, it's smaller. Not the big shards. Well, yeah, you come back here, boom, big shard. Look, that's the kind of thing looks like it could go through a shoe. I'm telling you, that does not look safe. So what, I lost count. We were 3 for 4. Now I'm gonna say we're 3 for 5, because I'm 3 for 5, 4 for 6, 5 for 7. This I'm gonna say is a fail. 5 for 8. You got glass there. You got a big shard here. Now, why would he lie like that? Or is he just blind? Why how do you miss that? 5 for 8. Is that what I counted? Another glass one. 5 for 9. Another glass one. 5 for 10. We're gonna double check that. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5. So out of 10 of them, I would say at best, he got 5 out of 10. I consider that a fail. That's a 50% grade. That's a fail. 5 out of 10. And he went the lazy route. Use of cones, I guess the only cones he had. And he couldn't even answer the question of whether this is an urgent safety issue or not. That's his job, is safety. Now, what I personally, my personal opinion of what he's doing is the lazy route. Maybe, possibly, I'd say possibly they don't think this is urgent. So, you know, I did say in a previous video that I'd like to try to get away from the government accountability and get into just more documenting and also community enhancement. Well, God works in mysterious ways, and some of my friends see me doing this, they're definitely gonna laugh, because I'm not the cleanliest person in general. Catch a glimpse of my car or something, you may pick up on that. I got a towel my sister gave me. It says dog hair, don't care. And I think that summarizes my philosophy. But there's a difference between something like dog hair and something like glass in a public place. And so we're gonna do what we think Delhi should do today. I don't think these barriers are sufficient. I personally don't. As you saw me count, he's maybe at 50%. It's ridiculous that I'm here doing this, that they should add an adequate response. What I probably should do is call back up again, but I'm just going to do some cleanup for now. So, you know, part of the reason I hate doing this is, and maybe I need to think twice about this, what if I clean up the big pieces and I leave some small pieces behind? and then I get sued because, hey, they would have seen the glass if the big pieces were there, but since you left only small pieces behind, we don't see that glass. And so, you know, that gives me pause on whether I actually want to sweep this up or not now, because I don't want to get sued for, like, hey, you were the last one to touch the glass that got left behind, or some BS like that. And not only that, but like, see this can't even be put in there. So so, you know, I think what I'll do is maybe go up and just have a conversation with the fire department guy and see, based on me doing an escalation request, what they think. And so, yeah, I don't want to open myself up to any kind of liability. So I did that little scoop there. I think what I'll do is what I did scoop. I think I'll sweep over here. How you doing? I noticed all this glass up here, and I thought, man, what if a kid comes up here while their parents are loading up and walks into one of these glass shards?
Yeah.
You know, pretty dangerous, huh?
Yeah.
If that was at your house, how long would it take you to clean it up? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know. I clean it up as soon as possible, you know?
Like an urgent situation, maybe emergency?
Yeah. I don't want any like kids stepping on that.
Yeah, not only that, but it gets dark at 5:22 tonight.
Yeah.
And this is open till 7, so aside from the lights, you know, it's dark back here.
Yeah.
I was going to clean it up, but I think I'm going to go say, hey, you guys need to do something about this today.
Yeah.
I'm recording, by the way. I don't got your image, but just I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel if that's okay.
That's all right.
I do government accountability, and I think that I suspect corruption at the trustee level. Yeah. And an employee said that he was going to end their career based on that corruption. Wow. And then they threatened him, and he backed off, and they started retaliating against me, is what my opinion. But I'll have a YouTube channel. You know, I'll put it out there at some point, but look up it on YouTube if you're interested, like Delhi First Amendment. Yeah. And you'll find me. I'll probably start posting about a week. All right. But yeah, nice to meet you.
Yep, nice to meet you too.
So that looked like a younger guy, but a pretty nice guy. And so I'm going to go back to the fire department and let them know that the police department failed, and that that a citizen also feels, in addition to AI, that this is more of an urgent emergency situation. This isn't a, hey, let's wait until Monday situation. I mean, maybe I mean, if government saw me doing that, safety issue, I don't know if they give me till Monday or not. I guess it just depended. Maybe they normally give you till Monday, but rich gauges, I don't know. So we're just going to talk with the fire chief, see what, or the fire lieutenant, just see what he has to say. And we'll go through channels this time, instead of just happening across them in the parking lot. We'll go to the front desk and see if it's open. Or maybe we'll just naturally run into them as we head down there. Wonder if that's a new fire truck. It looks like it to me, but I can't tell. So at this point, we don't only have confirmation from AI, who I believe Skylar Miller, the township administrator, doesn't respect. We not only have feedback that it's urgent emergency from that, we also have it from a Delhi citizen, whom I also suspect township administrator Skylar Miller may not care about. And so I don't know if the lobby's open at this time. So, you know, I honestly don't know if I can even get service, or if I have to go through a switchboard. Hey fellas, is there somebody I can speak with?
I'm sorry.
Is there somebody I can speak with without interrupting y'all too much?
I would love to. I'm just training.
Okay.
Actually, I'm training him to load this hose. Do you mind if I do that real quick? Is that okay?
Not at all. I'll stand at the end here if that's okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll just stand here in the grass for a minute, or right here, maybe in the grass, and just have a conversation with him about it, and see what he thinks. And again, you know, this wasn't my initial reaction, but, you know, in retrospect, some may think this is petty. I imagine some moms may think, hey, this is great. And, you know, opinions are going to vary. Personally, myself, I don't really feel comfortable doing this, especially right now. I'd rather be home doing some things I like to do. Part of me still says I fell short not sweeping that up. And I'm thinking, if I did and I wanted to mitigate that, any liability, could I sweep it all up? And I probably could. I mean, it gets stuck in the cracks and stuff, but maybe we'll still do that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go over here and have a seat on this bench. Yeah, certainly it sounds like I could do that, but yeah, some of that might stick in the concrete and stuff as well. So yeah, as I think about it, if I get ripped for not sweeping that up, then that is what it is. I'd rather it just be what it is than edit that out or anything like that. Let the truth be shown. If I'm making the wrong decision by not sweeping that up, then let that be known. You see, my approach to transparency is very different than Delhi Township government's approach. I think for a long time now, you see what I've been requesting is an open dialogue. And what they've done in multiple ways is shut down open dialogue, not only between me and government, but I believe they've shut it down between me and other citizens. And they you know, everything from intimidation, from, you know, I don't want to be recorded. Sorry, ma'am. This is a public place in a one-party consent state. And, you know, all the way to he was riding on the sidewalk, an activity I got pre-approved to do prior to doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for a minute while we wait for the... he almost looks like a commander or something to me. I don't know why that is. Well, I would guess some of it is because of the blue outfit. But we'll find out when I speak with him.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm low on battery, so it may not make it all. But I was sitting at home and I looked at it. I didn't realize it says firefighter, and I thought, am I really a firefighter now? And I thought maybe I'm an honorary firefighter. What's this really telling me?
That is telling you that thank you for coming out and showing your support at the open house, and there you go.
I don't want to take too much more of your time. I appreciate the
Yep.
humor moment there. The glass thing again.
Yep.
I ran into a PD officer.
Okay.
Just by chance. I mentioned it to him.
Yep.
Officer Scott something maybe.
It might be.
And he sent an email to someone else at department.
Okay.
Public Works
well.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
I talked to another police officer because I just want you to know where I'm coming from, because I could see where someone might look at me and say, oh, he's nitpicking, or wow, he's a real whiner, what a pain in the. That's not why. I chatted with AI. I value AI's input. I compared against my own value, and I'm thinking, is that urgent and or an emergency? And AI said, yes, it's both urgent and an emergency. So I thought, okay, AI is kind of backing me on this. I don't know if it's an emergency. I'm kind of torn on that, but I do think it's an urgency.
It is, and the Parks Department that I spoke to, they're going to be cleaning it up on Monday, because they actually just got, they get dumped 3 times a week. I believe it's what they say, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not positive on that though, but I do know that it's multiple times a week.
And they clean up?
And they clean up. But again, if that comes, and you know, if Rumpke comes and bangs them all around and whatever else, obviously there's glass inside there because it is a recycled product that, I mean, it can't come out, stuff of that nature. The paper, unfortunately, there is some paper that is scattered throughout as well. But I do know that the Parks Department, or Maintenance Department, I should say, not 100% sure, but that they do come out and they do take care of that kind of stuff. One, because it is their responsibility and it's a responsible thing to do, but also because of the neighbors that they have right here, that they don't want them to have to deal with the cardboard and the paper and all that. As far as the glass though, a good majority of that glass that I saw was to the side and to the back of it. There are no openings for somebody to go in there and actually put cardboard and or paper in there on the side or the back. The vast majority is all in the front as far as the openings.
Yep.
The glass.
The sign though, the sign that says the hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Gets blocked by the recycling devices, the containers. So to read the full sign, you actually have to go behind the containers, as I understand it,
or step back and look at it that way.
Yeah,
so I mean, depending on the way the
but
individual
you think
does
that's
it.
urgent? Well, let me finish my story and then
Sure.
get your feedback. So then I went up here and I'm telling myself, hey, if they just put up barriers on both sides, then that would be mitigated in my mind. And otherwise, I'm going to have to clean it up myself and do my own civil duty. And so the officer came up because I called the PD again, and I said, can you at least, you know, put something up? He said, yeah, I'll put something up. And he put some cones up, and I was hoping on both sides of the glass, so you're preventing entry from any possible. And he said, I put a cone up everywhere where there's glass. Now, I did the analysis, an honest analysis. He did about a 50% job. In between most dumpsters is broken glass with shards, and there's about 10 openings. He did about 5. I think he put up the cones that he had.
Okay. Yeah, there were some cones there
that wasn't a truthful statement he made to me, that he put a cone up everywhere there's glass. So now I'm like, I have to go. So I started sweeping it up, and there's like little pieces left behind. I think, man, if I sweep this up and I miss one or something, does that make me liable now?
Well,
because hey, I swept it all up, but I left this clear piece of glass. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped sweeping, and I thought, listen, really, Delhi needs to take care of this. So I ran into a civilian up there, and I said, hey, what do you think of this broken glass? He said, not good. You know, I'm paraphrasing. It's all on camera. And I said, is that a urgent emergency situation in your mind? Urgent or emergency? He said, yeah, both in essence. And
I think it's all subjective, but
yeah, but when you start seeing a pattern of subjectivity,
sure.
And like, who do we value here? Like, you know, customer's always right. No,
sure.
But citizen ought to have some input into these things.
Sure, absolutely.
Now, if someone goes up there and gets hurt tonight, the other piece of this that concerns me is that that's open till 7 p.m. It gets dark at 5:22. So what kind of lighting do we think there's going to be where that glass is actually laying?
I do know that we do have lighting there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you think that that's urgent?
I think that it's going to get cleaned up on Monday, yes.
Would you call it urgent?
I would call it getting cleaned up on Monday.
Because I thought you already said urgent. Now you seem
kind of
seems like you're dodging, but
absolutely no. I think you should definitely go back on your records and find what I said. But urgent. If I did say urgent, then you know, emergencies right now. Urgent is it needs to be looked at and it will be dealt with.
It's not an emergency.
I do not believe it to be an emergency.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I would ask that you don't go back there and clean it up, because I don't want there to be an emergency of something, either you know, as you're concerned, of glass going through your shoe or you falling and getting skinned up. Or
what do you think is the chance that anyone, maybe a little girl, strays from her parents while they're loading a recycling bin, or someone
I don't know the
takes
odds nor the percentage.
You think it's possible?
I think anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I think that the maintenance and parks department know about it? Yes, they do, and they are going to be cleaning it up on Monday.
You think they do know about it now?
Do what?
They know about it now, or they're going to know about it Monday when they get their email.
They're not at work right now. It is a weekend.
So they'll know Monday when they get the email.
Oh, 100%.
But they probably don't know now.
They may not know now.
May not know now. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, I don't know if anybody checks their email, you know, off work. I don't know that. But I do know that it has been dealt with on my side, as you asked.
Fair and respectable. I'm not sure my conscience is clean, but I'll get more feedback, because I'm all about open dialogue and feedback. And I'll just sit up there and ask citizens, hey, do you think this should wait till Monday, or do you think it's important and urgent it should be done today?
Okay.
And right now we have citizen and AI on one side and government on the other.
Sure.
And it's a small sampling, so it's you know, take it for the grain of salt.
Sure.
But I think there's a real risk up there.
Okay.
And it started chewing on me a little bit as I started thinking about it, so I started seeking input.
Well, I would just ask that you don't go and clean it up.
Okay.
How about that? Is that fair?
It's fair for you to ask me that. I got to still weigh out whether I'm cleaning it up or not.
Okay. All right. Yep.
But you think there's more chance that I would injure myself cleaning it up than somebody in the dark walking on that glass might injure themselves?
I would think that because you probably don't have the right equipment, or that could be a higher likelihood.
Higher likelihood?
Yeah.
Than somebody that's going up there not knowing that there's glass on the ground.
Or they see the glass and they're going to stay away from it.
No, I mean the folks that don't see it.
Or all the folks that do see it and walk away from it.
Yeah, those are the folks I think would be okay, but I'm talking about the risk of injury. That's what I'm trying to mitigate. I'm not trying to mitigate the folks that see it and walk away. I'm trying to mitigate the folks that would get injured by it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can go up there.
Even when
I'll tell you what I would do. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to put more cones up. All right.
That's all I was
50%.
asking. That's all I was asking.
Well,
and I think it's best if you put
come out like that.
I apologize. That's my shortcoming.
Well,
I just mentioned it to the officer.
Maybe you were trying to get me into something.
I wasn't.
As opposed to you just saying, "Hey, do you think you could put more cones there?" Do you think that maybe would have been a little bit more responsible, it would have ended the conversation, and I would have said, "Absolutely, sir. I'd be more than happy to do that."
In retrospect, I think it would have ended the conversation. At the time, I don't. I do apologize.
Yeah.
If you could understand, I have a little bit of an open wound.
Sure.
Because of the way Delhi's been treating me. And I just had a police officer tell me that he put a cone everywhere there's glass. And, and you can see the video, and you go up and see that's factually not true.
Well, I have a concern
I do
that
apologize.
I don't want to get a wound.
I do apologize.
By you trying to burn me. Do you appreciate that?
You mean like harm your reputation by saying?
Sure. I mean, you're trying to trap me into something.
I'm not trying to trap you.
All you could have asked me was to go and put the cones up there, and I would have been more than happy.
What may have come across as a trap is really meant to try to encourage you all
you're asking me
to understand that somebody could get harmed up there, and that there's easy solutions to take care of it.
Well, unfortunately,
and I do apologize.
You can get harmed out of many things by walking next to the street and a car goes off the side of the street, sir. And you could get harmed there, and I would not want that to happen. Just as much as I don't want somebody to get hurt when they're up there.
I think it's a bad analogy, but that's fine.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go...
I think if I type into AI and ask a bunch of citizens if something should happen today about fixing a problem with people getting ran over by a car when they're walking on the sidewalk, no problem. But I think when I stand up here and ask citizens about that glass, I've already asked 2 citizens, and they seem to be backing what I'm saying. And it's not I'm trying to trap you. I'm trying to help you see my side. And I can tell you, people that look at this, I think there's probably as good a chance that people are going to look at this and say, Rich looks bad as much as they look and say Lieutenant Somers looks bad.
Sure.
Because
I'm not here.
I don't get paid for this.
I'm not here to make you look bad.
I don't get paid.
I'm not here to make me look bad.
And
I'm
I don't
here
want you to.
so that we can work together. Is that not what?
And when
we're
my
here
video
for?
gets posted, you're going to see that when I report this to you, I didn't really report it to you, but I talked to you about it.
Sure.
I'm going to say, I think that's good, Lieutenant. I think he's a good guy. You're going to see me. So when I come across like I'm trying to trap you, I'm really not. It's just the moment. And when I make a mistake, like you pointed out here, I probably could have done it better. I apologize, and you can accept or not accept. I hope you do accept it.
Your apology.
Because I think you and we got an okay relationship.
Sure,
we just disagree on this particular issue.
No, I'm not going to say. I'm going to go deal with the issue right now.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. So we are still recording. I have to go back and analyze. You know, certainly you can always handle things better. I wasn't trying to trap them into anything. I think I'm going to try and analyze this on the fly right now, right here. So, you know, I'm not trying to think any deceitful things or anything like that. But it seemed like, and I'm guessing what happened there is what our township administrator might call confrontational. Okay, folks, so I just went home, I downloaded my videos and found out that my battery had ran out right after I spoke with the lieutenant. And so what had happened is I came over here and while he set up more cones, and I pretty much said he did a good job. I was a lot more, I was happy with what he did relative to what the officer did. It ain't on both sides, but it is on the front side where people would be most likely to walk through. So, you know, I'm happy about that. I do want to point out, you'll notice there's a cone right here as well. I wish I had that video. That's the only part I kind of miss of the video, but down in here was basically a piece of glass that was curved up and then broke off, making a sharp edge supported by its base of just sharp glass. And I was pointing out how sharp the glass was. But while I'm here and there is some light, I know I didn't get close videos earlier, so I just want to get some close videos of when I'm talking about shards of glass, what am I really talking about? And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about right there. That's dangerous in my mind. That looks like it's got some pretty sharp edge to it. Look at that. That looks dangerous because that's a solid piece of glass. It's pretty thick from what I'm looking at. Has a strong base with just a, oh yeah, with a sharp top. Somebody steps on that with thin soled shoes, that could potentially be a problem. That's what I'm talking about when I say shards of glass. Some of this I wouldn't be as concerned about as other pieces. But some of this, I think you step on it even with shoes and you might be in trouble depending on the shoes you got. And I mean, there's half a bottle right there. Luckily it's on the side. There are these can lids. I know you can cut yourself on those really easy. Believe it or not, these are super sharp. And then again, you have, how you doing, sir? I'm just documenting this mess back here. I think they ought to clean this glass up. What's that? Every Monday they clean it? Is that Monday only then? Monday only?
Yeah, they have to do the dumpsters on Monday, then they clean guys fill them up.
Okay. Is this mostly from citizens or?
When they dump the dumpster, you know, the dumpster guy doesn't get out of the truck and pick up on things.
So they pick up like 3 times a week, I guess?
I think it's twice.
Twice a week? And then, but they only clean up once a week? After they dump?
Yeah, no, Delhi cleans them up.
Delhi?
Dumpster guys don't do it.
Do you know what time the dumpster comes?
They're here like 7 o'clock in the morning.
And what day is this at?
It's Monday and Friday.
Awesome, awesome, thank you. And so in terms of the signs that I was talking about that you really can't see from out there are these signs right here. So, you know, he had speculated, and I don't know if it's true or not, but if you backed up, can you read that sign? No, it's not a distance thing in terms of backing up. Can you read it in between dumpsters? Yeah, pretty much so you can. On the top part, the top green sign. That bottom sign though, you'd have to be up closer, and really to read that bottom sign over there, you'd have to be over here in between the dumpsters, or go through the dumpster somewhere to see that sign. So if you saw a sign down there and you were wondering, you might walk through here to say, hey, is there another sign down here? There happens to be, but you wonder, is there a sign, you know, set and lower that's down here you wanted to look at? Do not block recycling bins. So so yeah, that sign, again, you'd have to be in between recycling bins to see that sign. So someone like me, if I saw a sign like that, I'd probably pop through. I'd pop through and say, hey, let's see what other signs there are back here, and just do a look down. See, and then they got a sign over here too. Look at this sign over here. I think it might be the same sign as the sign down there. And again, it's half covered by the dumpster, so no matter how far back you go, you're not going to be able to read the whole sign. And this one, it ain't like you gotta get between the dumpsters really. This one, you actually do have to walk back and in essence get behind the dumpster before you can read the whole thing. So so you know, that's just the reality of it, is that this one is and that would be the same thing from this side as well. This side, you say half a sign and you say, hey, I wonder, you know, what time they are open until or whatever, and you don't see it from here. So you might walk back here to see what the sign says. Oh, there it is, 6 to 9. And hey, what do you got? Shards of glass. Shards, that's a shard of glass. So when you step on that, and I'm just speculating, you have two sides of pressure coming together. That may break down in there, but you know, that's going to give it more potential to go through a shoe in my mind. But you know, I'm overanalyzing at this point, I'm sure. And we'll see how Delhi does. And we now know where the responsibility lies, or we have some feedback anyway from a stranger who seemed to be honest. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. We're gonna start recording again once the sun goes down to see how much light do we get out of these light posts. And hey, if you were trying to read that sign and you can't read it during the day because the dumpster's in the way, right? What's it gonna be at nighttime when the lights are off and you're coming back and you're trying to see what this sign says? Are you gonna be smart enough to look down? Which side are you coming from? Are you coming from this side? Two people coming back to read the sign. One walks over there while the other one stops here. Not enough of a probable chance that's going to happen that we were even going to put cones up. But I will say that I appreciate it in the end. I think this was a compromise solution, and I'm a lot more happy about it than I was previously. And I guess it seemed to cost a little cost a little bit of something. I don't know what it's called. And this got cleaned up a little bit because I swept it over here. But you know, we had these shards of glass over here. Yep, that's pretty sharp. And yeah, I guess so. This is actually, you're not allowed in this fenced area. Now look, even the dumpster, the dumpster down there, it's a lot cleaner than these dumpsters up here. So it sounds like they Rumpke folks pick up twice a week, and Dalhai cleans up once a week on Mondays only. So it bears the question, you know, is this what we get? I mean, so let's just assume that, hey, yep, they clean up every Monday and they do a fabulous job, spotless. Let's just assume that. We're trying to make it up here on Monday and do a check. But so that would tell us that, hey, this truly is 1 week, in essence, 6 days at this point, of stuff. Now, is it a normal week? If it's a normal week, then how you doing? Then that means that you're creating a safety issue with glass knowingly on a weekly basis, and you're leaving it there. I don't know. I would assume they clean up after the Monday pickup, not before. That would be my assumption. And if that's true, then whenever that second dump is, assuming it's the dumping that happens, then it, like the lieutenant was suggesting that, and I know he was just, you know, speaking on the heat of the moment and, you know, kind of brainstorming ideas and stuff. But in looking at it more with the information we have, and we could maybe find out this isn't something you have to, you know, manage 24/7. This might just be something you have to double up on and clean up twice a week instead of once a week, because it creates a safety issue when they pick up and dump these into the truck. Now, we don't know if that's the case or not, but we want to find out. And we just want to make sure that this is safe for everyone. You know, it's a publicly accessible place. It's right off the sidewalk. You know, it's intuitive that people would walk through this area, this walkway here between the dumpsters. I guess that would be technically considered a parking lot area. I don't know. In order to read the signs that you can't read from the front side of the dumpster. And so, you know, this is just me doing an honest analysis. But yeah, when the lieutenant was up here earlier, I gave another compliment, and I said I was satisfied with them putting up the cones, and I think that makes a big difference. And I was amazed. I wish I had the picture of it. It was so bad, and I was talking about, I was getting a close-up on it. It was so bad, this piece of glass, it was about that long, and it was jagged here from where it gotten broken off. It had a base and then curved up, so it did have some support on, and it looked like the most dangerous and in part because it was right in the front as well. So this is full. Some people may come up and try and get it in, push it in, creating an even greater risk of that. But yeah, we'll let the audience make their own opinions on, you know, did I take this too far? Did I take it just the right farness? Is it should I have taken it farther? Should I have done the cleanup myself? And other than that, that's it. We're gonna get a little bit of video a little bit later when it's actually the sun goes down. Should be happening here real soon, and once we get that, we're gonna wrap this up. It's maybe the first video I post again. So let me just say this. While I just scan around the area. Let me get out of the roadway part of that into this parking lot area. It says no parking between signs. It's got arrows in both directions, which is interesting. Looks like that sign down there is broken or taken down, and that there's probably a similar sign down here. But let me just summarize that I talk about some things in this video that have already passed of videos that I have not yet posted, and I'm trying to come up with the courage and oomph to get those videos edited and posted, and trying to also do enough due diligence that I can do it legally. And I think we have some real things to expose, and that's gonna be it for now. Should shards of glass on the ground to the sides and back of a recycling bin be cleaned up, and if so, how soon? Copilot, Microsoft's AI, says, yeah, shards of glass on the ground near a recycling bin should definitely be cleaned up as soon as possible. Here's why and how quickly. Talks about an immediate hazard, preventing spread of glass, because it could get kicked out and create flat tires as well, things like that. How soon should it be cleaned up? Immediately. Ideally, it should be addressed immediately. If you have the proper tools and protective gear, cleaning it up right away is the safest option. Within a few hours. If immediate cleanup isn't possible, it should be handled within a few hours to minimize risk, especially in high traffic areas. Hey folks, we're sorry, my video just finished saving. It goes into a format that is so compact that I can't read it, so I have to change the format of it. Within a few hours, same day, at the latest, ensure the glass is cleaned up by the end of the day to avoid overnight injuries to anyone, including nocturnal animals. Prompt cleanup is crucial to maintaining a safe environment. If the responsible authorities are unable to act quickly, consider taking safe precautions, such as placing a warning sign or temporary blocking off the area to prevent accidents. Now I want you to look at this guy for just a minute. Look at the hair. This is the guy that had to come up with the solution before I even looked at AI. I hadn't even looked at the AI. And I started having concerns and came up with the solution of, hey, maybe if they should put a barrier on both sides. It's only like 100 feet away. And here is AI, and the lieutenant thinks I'm trying to trap him, and I try to be Mr. Nice Guy. I gave my apology and this and that, and I tried to be sincere with it, and I was. I can always do better. So if he feels that I didn't do my best and I feel I could do better, then I gave him the apology for that. But this is the guy that came up with the solution. Keep in mind, I'm not in the safety field. I'm a retired computer programmer, retired project manager, retired computer systems analyst. I was a systems consultant. So yeah, I have some intelligence, but some of that, my best days are certainly behind me. And this is the guy that had to come up with the solution to at least put the cones up. Can we at least put up some kind of barrier? Same day at the latest. Ensure the glass is cleaned up by the end of the day to avoid overnight injuries to anyone, including nocturnal animals. Now, I would like to state that my battery died after I had spoken with the lieutenant. So while he's putting cones up there and I was pointing out some serious glass issues, I didn't get that footage. And he did actually clean up some of the glass that was in the front that looked like it was maybe the most dangerous. I'd say it was the most dangerous. And then he put a cone up where the glass previously was. But I do want to say that some of what didn't get recorded was it one or two citizens? I believe there were two citizens that came out and said that they didn't feel that they felt that it could wait until Monday. They didn't feel it was so urgent, had to be dealt with that day. And I think there may have been another one. Anyway, at the end of it, I'd come to the conclusion that it was pretty much split 3-3. I think I'd said at one point in time, not counting me maybe, or maybe that was counting me. I don't remember, but I got the two individuals recorded from earlier. I just wanted to, in full disclosure, say that I did run into some citizens. I thought I was recording, but the battery had died. at least 2 citizens, at most 3, that said that, you know, they didn't feel that was a priority. Now, I should clarify because I forgot. I believe it was 2 citizens, now that I'm thinking a little bit more clear. 2 citizens, now that I'm thinking about it. And 1 citizen said, you know, he thought it could wait till Monday. I said, well, just where I was coming from is, you know, I was thinking if somebody brought their pets or kids up here while the parents were loading a bin, that, you know, the kid might go around the corner and step in the glass and get injured. And little kids can fall and stuff too. And he said, oh, I didn't think of that. So it kind of sounded like he might actually changed his mind, but I didn't clarify whether he's just agreeing with me and sticking to his original opinion or whether he actually changed his mind. But yeah, I feel like, you know, Delhi may be making a little bigger deal out of this, my reaction to this, because I think my reaction to this has been pretty appropriate based on the feedback from individuals. And I didn't really feel I did anything terribly wrong in conversing with the lieutenant. And it's just water under the bridge. I appreciate, if you're watching this, Lieutenant, I do appreciate that you, at the end of the day, you put the cones up. You know, I would have preferred they were on both sides, but I think it was good that you put the cones up in every slot so people from the front wouldn't be walking through and stepping in glass accidentally. I think that was a bare minimum, and I appreciate you doing that. I stand by AI on this one. At the end of the day, that's where I am at this point in time. At the end of the day, and I understand they can't be up there every day and every night, but if they're getting 2 pickups a week, if that's what I'm hearing and if that's correct, that they're getting 2 pickups a week, and it's the picking up that causes the glass to go on the ground, and that Delhi only does a cleanup 1 time a week, it sounds like the solution that maybe they don't need to go up there and clean up every day, but maybe they ought to be cleaning up after both those dumps. Anyway, we need to do a little more research. I just wanted to point those few things out, and yep, that's it. Okay, folks, so it is now nighttime. It's the sun has pretty much set. It's actually pretty gorgeous from here. I should have to take a video. There's a nice river lookout I like to go to. Has gorgeous sunsets, but I just wanted to point out over here the light actually is a little brighter than I thought, but with the containers blocking the light, if you want to see what that sign said, you very easily might not see the shards of glass. Now I'm looking at the screen on my computer, and I can actually see, or on my camera, I can actually see with the naked eye better than I'm wondering if the camera's going to pick up. And that could be a settings thing, but I can tell you, just my opinion, the glass that's directly in the light, it's not necessarily easy to see either. The glass that's in the shadow part, I mean, you'd almost have to be looking for it. You'd have to be looking down, or yeah, some of this you would definitely be seeing that. You'd see some of that, but or I'd say there's a chance you see some of that. Anyway, okay, folks, so I just wanted to show this is an apartment building called Indian Lookout. It's gorgeous. I used to live here. Solid apartments. You won't hear your neighbors normally, and you get gorgeous views up here of the Ohio River. I think it's one of 2 times I think that I saw an actual wall of rain as it approached and then started raining. But we tried to outrun a wall of rain one time when we were kids and had no luck. But here's another dumpster area where community puts into these dumpsters, and you know, they do so at all times of the day, and this place is able to keep it all clean. And maybe I just caught them on a good day, and I do realize that it is a little bit different of a situation, but if they can keep it clean, it ain't even about keeping it clean as much as it is about keeping it safe. and what we need to do. And I've been meaning to visit. I've been meaning to visit Green Township anyway. Is we need to get over to Green Township. I'm sure they have some recycling dumpsters, and see if this is a global issue, or if this is truly just an issue in Delhi. And we need to see, or maybe if it's an issue in Green Township as well, maybe they handle it differently. Maybe they always keep the cones up, or you know, maybe they have an area that's kind of roped off where the glass would normally fall, or what have you. But I'd be a little shocked if it's a situation where you regularly, and I'm going to guesstimate, you know, certainly I would guesstimate if they're doing a dumpster pickup on Monday, then maybe they do Monday, Friday, something like that. So if that's the case, then Friday, then you have Friday, I'd assume they do early morning with that as well. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then sometime on Monday they clean up. So during, I would think, maybe the busiest time, the weekend, that's when you go do all your chores and stuff and take stuff to the recycling bins, right? That'd be the busy time. That's when you're going to leave glass there knowingly, shards of glass that I believe would go through shoes. I just don't think that in their honest opinion that they would think that. But we're see if we can get to the bottom of it. We'll find out. So I didn't get Narly involved in the glass sharts. I mean glass shards situation. If it was glass sharts, Narly's a little bit of a specialist at sharts. But what do you think I should have done today differently, Narly? Do you have any opinion? You gonna grab at the camera? Feisty boy. You doing rally boy? Feisty boy, huh? He's possessive of his food. You see my rate. You go, boy, huh? So you don't have any problems with how the glass shard situation went? As long as it's safe and there's cones there at the end, huh? There he is, feisty boying again. Watch how his eyeballs go. You feisty boy. What do you want to do, huh? What? You funny boy. So, I think if I understand correctly what Narly's saying right now is he's a bit indifferent to the glass situation. I haven't told him the full story. He hasn't seen the video. So what he's saying is that he needs to go up and see it in person himself in order to make an accurate judgment. And I respect that response from Narly. I think that's a quality response. He doesn't want to comment too much on it until he can see it firsthand himself. And so he isn't even wanting to see the video. He wants to go straight to the location, and we'll see if we can make that happen maybe tomorrow.